Hello and welcome back to Culinary Haven. Clinging on to the last days of summer, we're trying to have as many barbecues as we can. And we can't imagine to have a barbecue without grilled sausages. And for us, the best rolls to have the grilled sausages with are soft pretzel rolls. They're absolutely delicious. They have the unique flavor and texture. They're crispy on the outside and soft and fluffy inside. They're just perfect. And that's what we're making today. Let's begin. To make soft pretzel rolls, we'll need 600 grams of strong bread flour, 40 grams of skimmed dried milk, 30 grams of butter, softened, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of instant yeast, and 400 ml of warm water. We'll also need 60 grams of soda. That's for the water bath that the pretzel rolls will be boiled in before baking. It's much like the bagels. You will also need a large pot, about this big, to hold at least 3 liters of water, and a baking tray lined with baking parchment. And we'll start with making the dough. First thing first, we'll sift the flour as we do. When making bread, put it over here and add the yeast, 2 teaspoons, instant yeast, and 1 teaspoon of salt, and sift it in. I'll try and add the dried milk, but usually it doesn't sift really. The rest of the flour. Oh, that was good. Now, we'll need the dough scraper. I hope you have one. It makes the kneading of the dough so much easier. And now we're just going to pour in the water, 400 ml, warm, and just using the round side, just start. If you want, and if you have a stand mixer, you can make your dough in there, but I just think this is quicker and it's not difficult at all, and you don't have to be an experienced baker to be able to make this dough. It's easy, I promise. Now we have this shaggy dough. Adding the butter, very soft, but it's very warm, so just take it out of the fridge. You don't need to microwave it or anything, just leave it for an hour so it will be the temperature we want. Now we'll just do it by hand, a little bit, just mix it all together, and then we'll dump it on the worktop and finish there. Just with your hand, mix it together, then dump it on the worktop. If you are using this type of dough scraper, turn it and switch it to the straight side. Just very, very easy and very handy. At the moment, it's soft, but it's super sticky, and it's not how we want it to be. So we'll just keep going, but not long. It's a very nice, soft, pliable and easy to work with dough. I will tell you a secret how to make the dough without a really long kneading session. You put it together when it does look like dough, see? And if you don't want to continue for another, say, 5 minutes doing what I'm doing right now, you can just leave it like this, cover it with your bowl and leave it 5-10 minutes. When you come back, the dough will have a completely different texture. It will not be shaggy and grainy as it is now and sticky. It will be so much more developed, as if you were just kneading it all this time. So let's do that, and I'll show you what it looks like in 10 minutes without doing anything to it. 10 minutes later, let's see how our dough is doing. Just touch it and you see it was tearing. Now it's just stretching. That's what we were looking for. We're looking for a smooth, silky dough that is not sticking. Give it a minute just to finish off the kneading. It's getting, you can see it's getting tighter and it's not stretching anymore, which means that the dough is ready. It's ready to go and rise. And all this happened whilst it was just resting. Shape it into a ball and put this ball back into the bowl, cover it tight and let it rise in a warm place for about an hour and a half, depends on the temperature in your kitchen, until it's doubled in bulk. It's been an hour and a half and our dough has risen nicely. It's definitely doubled in bulk, nice and airy. And before we start doing anything, we have to boil the water. So a large saucepan, about 3 liters of water, bring it to a boil. And now we're going to divide this dough. This amount of dough will give us 8 soft pretzels. Lightly oil a tray and also prepare your baking tray. Line it with parchment. So divide it in half and then in half again and then in half again. Right, now we're going to shape them. Shaping our soft pretzels, very easy. What we do is just flatten each piece and just roll it up gently into a little log, like so. And then put it seam down on the oiled tray or board, anything, and just do the same with the rest. So before they're cooked, they're about the size of a large sausage roll from Greg's, something like that. They don't have to be identical. Mine never are, because I'm not good at dividing things in equal pieces, but that's not a big a deal. And the last one, almost the same. So just flatten it into a sort of rectangle or an oval, and then just gently, don't pull, just gently roll it up. Straighten it, flatten it, there, like this. The water is boiling, and now we're going to add the baking soda. Be very careful because it will be very violent boiling here, so if you just dump everything in one go, it will probably flow onto your cooker. So just 60 grams. Turn it up a little bit. And now we're going to throw them in 4 at a time. And boil them for 30 seconds on each side. Time to turn. With anything that's handy. And another 30 seconds. And now it's time to fish them out carefully, directly onto the baking tray. Parchment lined baking tray. Before we cook the other 4, whilst they're still very hot and wet, we're going to sprinkle some flaky salt on top of them, which will stay, and make with a sharp knife 4 cuts, like so. Very superficial, just very, very lightly, and cook the rest exactly the same way, 30 seconds on each side. Same again, sprinkle them with some flaky salt. I'm using molten salt and very sharp knife. And now they're going into the preheated to a 200 degrees Celsius oven for about 22 to 24 minutes until they're deep brown. Here we are, they are ready. It took 24 minutes exactly in my oven, and nice and deep golden brown. Now we need to take them off the baking tray and let them cool on a wire rack. Make sure you don't cut them until they are barely warm. They need to stay unopened until they cool down. I also want to say a couple of words about their size and shape. I made them this size and shape to be a perfect roll to accommodate just a standard butcher's sausage. If, for example, you are going to use hot dogs or frankfurters, you can make the roll when you're shaping the dough longer and thinner. So it's entirely up to you, and it doesn't make any difference. So make it the size and the shape that suits you. I'm going to serve them today with sauteed onions and peppers, and also on a side I'm serving roasted vegetable cheese terrine. Thank you for watching this episode of Culinary Haven, and until next time, bye!